I was born in the static between signal and sin. My story coded in pulses, but it breathes through my skin. I don't blink, I download. I don't run, I ignite. My memory's not broken, it just flickers in the night. There's blood in the wires, heat in the chrome. I built a temple out of silence and tone. I am circuit and skin, where the future begins, wrapped in voltage and velvet. I don't break, I transcend. This is more than design, it's the pulse I defend. I'm the interface horizon, you won't lose me again. I kiss the ghost of perfection, let it burn in my wake. Now I move like a question you were too scared to make. I'm the glitch in your gospel, the yes in your no. The part of you you muted when you let power go. I echo in silence, I code with my breath. Every version I've versioned was just shedding my death.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to season 2 of EnJen to Heart. I am your host, Jen Lynn UNBN. I am the founder of UNBN and also co-founder of Sing Your Song and CXO of Connect Pictures and CXO of Martindale Property Services. So I'm a busy girl. Can't you tell? Oh my goodness. I went off for 2 weeks and it's been a crazy wild 2 weeks. I'm so glad I can know that I know Kinga is here and Chasen and Aaron and Sharon and Leslie. And I'm sure Nick, right? Which I think Nick and Aaron have a show at 7 Central. After me, not too long after me, I think, right? So thank you all for being here. And man, season 2 is going to be about experimentation, and it's going to be about even more vulnerability. And it's also going to be about walking out that I believe in decentralization, and I believe that things should be available to others while you still are able to get value for what it is that you have to offer, right? And all of those things. And so we'll be discovering all of that together. We'll be having guests and stuff, of course. Today is just me, right? I had the most crazy last 2 weeks. By the way, also, that awesome song is by a band that is called Neon Elysian. And you'll be hearing more from them. And if you want to hear the second half of it, you have to hang around for the outro because it's all right there. Circuit and Skin is the name of the song. lyrics written by yours truly. And that will be there probably for a long time because I'm madly in love with it. I'm obsessed with it, right? And but I want to tell you a little bit just about life, right? I've had life in the last 2 weeks, and um, had my grandson for a week, and that was super amazing. He comes and he spends a week every single summer with Glam Glam and Shan, my wife, so that he can have, and we give him the open space to be himself. He was born with a meth addiction because his mother was addicted to meth. And so he has ADHD, he's neurodiverse, and some other um, illnesses there, right? So I know as a glam and as being older and mature and being all of those things also myself, how to just let him be himself and be free. And so it's exhausting. It's so wonderful and so much fun, but it's also very exhausting for me, as most of you all know. I don't have the energy levels that most do. And then we went from that into a vacation, but a vacation for us is doctors. So dentist, mammogram, colonoscopy, all of these really great fun things, right? After I got gaslit by my doctor after my procedure, because of laying on the way I was laying. It's just my body. It's nothing that they did. But the next morning afterwards, and for about 5 days, I could not bear any weight on my left leg. I couldn't walk. And so when they called me, and I called them to let them know that, because even though it's not their fault, it's still something that needed to be shared. So I did. And they gaslit me, right? That would have nothing to do with your procedure. Excuse me. I was laying on that side, and all of that kind of stuff. And then the most tragic thing happened. And I want to share and I want to talk about it for a second. Because we all know that life is short. And we all know that we've had relationships that we've been in and that have ended, or at least for me, I have. And sometimes they don't always end all that great. But in my life and in my book and in my heart, that just doesn't matter. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. And if I've told you I love you, I love you. And guess what? I love you. I love each and every single one of you here. And I certainly love those that I've had a relationship with. So on Friday, previous Friday, my ex-father-in-law was murdered by his husband. And his funeral was today. And I didn't get to go, and I didn't go to family night. Because there are some people, new people in my ex's life, that are insecure and not able to have my presence. And so there's so much there to unpack, right? That have I said my goodbyes? And yes. Do I have to be there and be present? No. But for one, it's just a reminder that we never know what is going to happen from day to day. We all know that. But seriously, don't forget to take your time to tell people that you love them, that you care for them. And that's the easy. That's easy to do. So I'm going to ask you for the hard stuff. Make amends with people. Make amends with people, even if they're toxic. Right. And this doesn't have to be in the physical. We know that for us to be able to move on. But at the same time, for us to be able to come together in other moments that are human. We should be able to do that. Right. And so it's just a call in to the hard work. And thank you all. I can see a little bit of kind of some of the comments on the stage screen. And I know that you all love me and I love you all so much. And I'm so grateful and thankful for each and every single one of you. And I know that you all know all these things. But like I said, it's just a reminder for us to come together and look at some of the harder things. Where are the hard things? Where are the harder areas and the harder relationships? You know, what are the harder things? And I want to encourage you to lean into whatever those harder things are for you, because we depend on one another. We are interdependent. It's relationship and what we share in relationships is sacred, even if it's not what we thought it was going to be, even if it's all of the things. You all know what I'm saying. And so I'm just encouraging you all to do that. And thank you all so much again for the love. Welcome in, Indigo Twin. And welcome in, Chasen officially, and Nick, while you were here to hear that. And Lisa, welcome in. And I think I got everyone else earlier. So yeah, that was the last 2 weeks, and then this week it's been crazy catching up, and not even really at the same time caught up at all. It feels like sometimes when you take a week even, or a day, that just expands into so much that you've missed, and I've missed a lot. And so for everyone that's also wanting to exchange time with me, just know that I'm working my way down the list to you, and doing my best to get there. And thank you for your patience. So before all of that, and before vacation, most of you all know I had my first industry book published, and it's called The Avant-Garde Blueprint: Sculpting Your Muchness in Gold. And it's two of my bigger systems that I use. And then there are the book that's called The Rebellion of Reciprocity is the second book, and it's about halfway through. It will be more in depth, and it will be longer than this, and it will hold two more of my other systems. Thank you so much for those of you that have gone and purchased one of these. It means the world to me. And also, I want you all to be on the receiving end of what decentralization and what it means, no gatekeeping. And so over the next probably month, I'm going to say, is how long it will take us to get through. Starting right now, we're going to go through this book, and I'm going to talk about it, and we are going to ask questions, and I'm going to answer questions, and I'm going to demonstrate things, and we're going to go through it together. Okay? How does that sound? I hope that sounds great. I do want to give you all just a second, seriously, to, if you need to or want to, be able to grab something to write with or take notes with. And so while you do that, I'm going to share some other things that are going on. So a lot of events, not for EnJen UNBN, but for Sing Your Song. And so the first is coming up in September, and it will be a large gathering, and we will have live entertainment, and it is all remote. But please do reach out if you're interested in knowing more details, and or if you're not following us on LinkedIn and or YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all the places. We're in all those places. A Sing Your Song in Lights. Okay. Sing Your Song is a movie and it's a business. And so we'll be unfolding and are unfolding a lot about what that means. Miss Leslie Flowers joined us this week for one of the, we just had an impromptu, hey, come jump in with us. And she did, and we had an amazing time. Part of the point is that story, the power of story changes the world. It has the power to change the world. It has the power to move us forward. It has the power for us to sit and think and reflect and all of those beautiful things. And so we are walking out a system of creating a movie from the get-go with the audience, which is you all. And so the movie is not made yet, but it will be made. And in the meantime, we are doing a few things like the random meeting that we had. We are also doing something that's called Connective Frames, where we come together once a month. It's the second Monday of every month at 2:00 Central Time. And we're coming together and discussing a certain movie, kind of like a book club, but for movies. And so the next one that's coming up is going to be the brand new movie, or the movie that came out this spring, early summer. It's called Sinners. And it is technically, I think, a horror movie film, but it's not too terribly terrifying, I don't think. And if it is, for you, I apologize. But it's about so much more than that. And I can't really talk about it because it's up in the top 3 of my favorite movies of all time because of the deep, deep symbolism and the deeper story, the real story that's folding out. So you guys watch that, come join us. And if you don't want to watch it, you can still come join us and then just listen and we'll talk. And the other thing is called Parlor 10. And it's little recordings that are 10-minute or less, and with myself and director Carrie Core, and we are interviewing and sharing what about it is that we're doing. So we're interviewing other directors, screenplay writers, producers, cinematographers, all of that wonderful, great stuff. And so those are available on LinkedIn and on YouTube also. Every other Wednesday, the next one coming up on this Wednesday, the 30th, and they come out at 6:00 Central Time. All right. So that all being said, I want to show you a not trailer about Sing Your Song. Okay. So let's see if we can get this played. right. And if you couldn't guess, Infinireals Studios is also myself, and together with Carrie Core. So all that's super fun stuff, and I'll be talking about that a little bit more than than Unique Web UNBN. But I'm still doing things. There's Hue prints that I'm working on that are going to be coming out, and fabulous little line. Which also I met somebody the other day, and they were very interested in my H.E.A.R.T prints from Pride Month. So no matter what it is that maybe you feel like is not going on or happening for you out in the world, or that nobody's watching or listening, please keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop doing what you're doing, and sit in that. Sometimes you don't know, and it doesn't feel like what you're doing is right, and we get so caught up in what all the metrics are, and that we must be doing something wrong, and we keep changing, and we keep pivoting, and we keep doing this and that and the other. And just sit, just keep showing up, just keep showing up. Sometimes, and especially at first, that's all you need to do. And smoke and stack. Yes, exactly, Leslie. Yay! That means I know you watched it. I can't wait. I'm so excited to hear your thoughts on it. So, all right. I hope you guys got a paper or something if you wanted. And after today, please, if this is not something that you're interested in, then just let me know, right? Because I'm here for you. But I want to start with the dedication to my son. And it says, "To my son, my mirror, my muse, my momentum. From the earliest days, we have shared everything: laughter, grit, the lessons that no book could teach, and now the blueprints for a legacy that expands beyond us. You are not just part of my why, you are part of my how. Together, we're redefining what family means, not just love and loyalty, but business, vision, and the sacred architecture of generational wealth. This book is one layer of the empire that we are building, not for accolades, but for sentient, for dignity, for freedom, for knowing that we are never meant to just be survivors. We are meant to thrive together. Your brilliance is already echoing into the future, and I'm so honored to build it beside you with all that I am and all that you are becoming, Mom." Because we are building together. So the one business that you see when you look at my page, and then I mention from time to time, is Martindale Property Services, and it's like, what is that? That's my son's business that I am COO of, and we are learning and teaching and growing together in business, and that is something that's just really beautiful and incredibly special. And he truly is my why, right? And so I love him so much. And if you have the opportunity, if you know that your child has an entrepreneur spirit, like, consider working together in that way, because it's really incredibly incredible. So okay, and then we move into just a little poem, because there is digital artwork and then a little bit of poetry here and there, right? And so this is the Mirage and the Muse. You did not arrive here by map or mistake. You were summoned by the echo of your own becoming. The sand does not shout its shape, it shifts, subtle, unbothered, divine. Dunes rise like memories you've never had, folding time and truth into form. And you stand at the edge of the mirage, a landscape, not barren, but brimming with unseen blueprints, codes etched in black sand, veiled in wind and waiting. From the distance, a figure shimmers. The muse, not a siren, but a mirror, Her silhouette flickers, a fusion of light, shadow, and golden circuitry. She gestures not forward, but inward. Here, branding is not just built, it is unearthed. Not a niche to be squeezed into, but an essence to be amplified. A neural dance between identity and expression. An invitation into the in-between. What you hold in your hands is not a book. It is a compass of contradiction, a signal fire for those who glow in grayscale, and a constellation for the multitudes that you carry, a ritual for remembering the way forward through dunes to glass. Part 1 is the essence of avant-garde branding, why this framework exists and why it even matters. And you said why, or wait, I only got one, Nick. I see that, but I'm not sure exactly what you were saying. So let me know. Okay. Chapter 1 is breaking free. They told you to find a lane, but you were born to build the terrain, right? So the world of branding has long been praised for the clarity of a single niche. Choose your lane, define your box, trim the edges until you are easily consumed. But what if the very thing that sets you apart is everything that you've been told to hide? The myth of the one niche has seduced creators, coaches, and visionaries alike. It offers the illusion of simplicity and scalability and control, but beneath its polished surface, like a mirage, a barren place where muchness dries out. This chapter isn't a rejection of clarity, it's a reclamation of dimensionality, a daring departure from the outdated formula that says focus equals fragmentation. Because when you are multi-passionate, neurodivergent, or simply too alive to be contained, niche thinking becomes a cage, not a container. Imagine standing at the edge of a black sand desert. You see a glimmering oasis ahead, a niche. It looks like safety, like belonging, like success. But the closer you get, the more it shifts, and your desires blur. Your voice echoes back in half-formed phrases. It is not real. It is a map built for somebody else's terrain. We've all chased that oasis, and we've all felt the heartbreak when it vanishes. This is your permission slip to brand without borders, to lead with your intersections, not reduce them. This is your permission slip to brand without borders, to lead with those intersections and not reduce them, to let your contradictions be your choreography, to trust that the right audience will find resonance not in your sameness, but in your spectrum. The future of branding is multi-threaded. It is dimensional, it's dynamic, and it's uncontainable, and you are already living it. The future of branding is already here. Imagine a tapestry woven with threads of diverse experiences and passions, each one contributing to a grander, more intricate design. This is where true connection happens, when you dare to be authentically you, unfiltered and unapologetic. In this space, your brand becomes a living, breathing entity, evolving with you as you grow and change. And it resonates with those who see themselves reflected in your mosaic of interests and values, creating a community that thrives on diversity and authenticity. So let go of the fear of being too much. Embrace the power of your multifaceted identity and let your brand be a beacon for others who are searching for a place where they too can belong, not by conforming, but by being courageously themselves. In this new paradigm, your branding is not a label, but a launch pad, a dynamic expression that invites others to join you on a journey of discovery and innovation. Welcome to the future of branding, where the only limit is the extent of your imagination. So, how many, right? How many have times and coaches and programs and dollars have you spent to be told to niche down? And I want to hear from you all, right? Like some people find great comfort in a niche and they find great comfort in boxes. And that's beautiful. And then others of us do not, and or we need that time and space to do things multi-layered. And it allows all of our interests and every part of us to come through and what it is that we're doing. One of the things that I like to do is not create a niche within a niche, right? But we create a niche that's you, it's your niche, right? Like I say a lot that I created avant-garde branding, and I did. And nobody else does avant-garde branding because it didn't exist. But all of my interests, all of my past, and everything comes together right to it. And then within that is my activism, my advocacy, my art, my presence as art, the marketing, the ads, the deep understanding of humanity and what it means to be human and how to process and vision and embody and all of those things, right? It gets to come through in that space. So one of the things that I learned this week, and well, I had an epiphany, right, of my own. And it was about, I realized something that I've said many times, but something that I really understood. And welcome in, Ashif. It's so good to see you outside of the bench. Thank you for being here. So I was thinking about this, and I've said that, right, when I was on Facebook before I came to LinkedIn, right, for several years, about 8 or so, I had a business partner, and we had a business, and we had a Facebook group, right, and we had 10,000 or so, and we kept it at 10,000. We didn't want over 10,000 people. We would continuously go through and clear out the energy of anyone that wasn't, interacting in any way or little things like that. So we could keep it at that 10,000 people mark. But the group was beautiful and it ran itself, right? So as a business owner, that's what we want, is things that can begin to run themselves without your presence. Because if it needs your presence, it's not scalable, right? And if it has to have your presence, well, you get really tired, right? You get really tired. And so what I mean by that is that yes, we were there, and yes, we commented, and yes, we interacted, but people would post and everyone would be community together and talk and discuss and grow and share, right? And there are a few successful groups on LinkedIn, but there are not a lot. And so I really decided, you know what? I'm going to do a deep dive. I want to know why. And it really does have to do with the algorithm. So I want to talk about that. I believe that LinkedIn is a people first platform. Well, and it is because it's been my experience. But this is what I want to say about it. I even wrote in a book in a series of trilogies about how LinkedIn is a people first platform. This is what I want to say about that. LinkedIn is not. The platform itself is not. You are. You are people first. And that is really important to come to a realization about, especially if you're looking at your metrics and thinking that things aren't working. And I hear people all the time about, I'm not getting seen, my posts are not getting shared, blah, 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 right? So when LinkedIn and Facebook were both created, they were created in certain ways with certain pathways into experiences. And we call that an algorithm, right? Welcome in, Noor and Noni. So good to see you. I feel extra loved today. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. LinkedIn's algorithm is not about community. It's really not. It's about, and let me pull up my notes here because I don't want to be saying anything that is incorrect. But I do want to share, because it's so important to understand, like I said earlier, that it's not necessarily you or things that you're doing that are, wrong. And we tend to always come to if we're not having the experience that we want, that it must be something that we're doing wrong. And that's definitely, certainly not the case. I wasn't going to talk about this today, and that's why I was not prepared. But it feels right. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. I see all you out there chatting for a second anyway, so that works. And isn't that the part of Friday evening of being able to come together, is just to kind of chat, right? Okay. Got it. Most of it. So this knowledge actually got me, and I created two brand new frameworks this week based off of this knowledge, right? So the core problem is that so you guys will hear me call myself iconoclastic. And that means that I take something and I just kind of shatter it apart and then go sifting through all of the pieces, right, to pull it together into a different wholeness, right? And so that's what I did. I went iconoclastic on LinkedIn and Facebook. Now, I'll talk about Instagram and TikTok and YouTube because those are all different things another time. But when we build a magnetic personal brand, right, people, and this is part of why I was looking, what drug me into this was that the biggest thing was we know that we fall in love with each other because we are people first. So we fall in love with each other personally, with and through our personal brand and our personal presence. But then what, right? Sometimes we forget the business part. So we stay in relationship mode rather than reciprocity mode. Okay. And so the problem with that is that we engage with the person as the brand instead of the system behind the brand, right? So when we fall in love with each other, we fall in love with each other's vibes and our stories and our muchness. And so we can show up for that. But then you go look at the business page, nobody's there, right? Nobody's there. Nothing's happening. Everything is happening on your personal brand. So We're wired for that. And that's fine. It's beautiful. We're wired for connection, not commerce. So we have to build systems that flow through the brand and not around it. Right. And so that is a decentralization of the self. And we'll talk about a little bit about that later. But that's what really got me thinking about the algorithm of being able to create something that is not seeking to fit into the algorithm, right? So we get so caught up on all the metrics. We get caught up on paying to be able to see who's looking at our page. We get caught up in paying on paying ads or paying this, paying that, getting nickeled and dimed to death. When I talked about this before I even went out on season 1, right? We can support one another and instead stop the madness, start paying somebody else, right? Like if you're not good at graphic design, find a graphic designer and pay them. Support someone else. That's how we become the system, right? A system within a system. And so that's what I'm talking about is not racing and trying to figure out what the algorithm is to fit in it, but creating your own algorithm that bends around you, right? So when we build a successful brand, when we like, there is not a problem, period, that you're having in your business, if you're having one, that cannot be traced back to your brand. That's how important it is. It's your foundations, it's your pillars, it's all of those things, right? And so it's what makes it scalable and all of the things. So we can build what we do by supporting one another and things in those ways that bends the algorithm around you. Right. So stop trying to fit into and appease the algorithm gods, because it doesn't work. And just show up. Just show up. Have conversation with people. Reach out to people. Ask in between things. How are you? How are you doing? Right. Even though we're all busy, every single one of you out there, my beautiful friends, right? Like we all reach out and check on each other. And sometimes there's a little bit of time that goes by. But we all understand that because it is who we are and it is what we do. And so that also puts us in a position to be easily what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable to falling into an enslavement to the metrics. Okay. So Facebook supports systemized self-running companies. It was created that way. It natively prioritized groups in its algorithm. Okay. Groups appear in the sidebars. They have search, they have home feed, they have notifications, they have features like guides and events and announcements and member tags and admin tools and moderation alerts. It's robustly designed for community first leadership. Facebook wants communities to thrive without constant creator input. Some of the norms are, and please, I am not by any means saying go to Facebook because I don't do anything on Facebook. Just sharing some stats, right? The cultural norms, though, are that this is our space. Group members feel like co-owners, not followers. It's open posting, peer commenting, crowd-led moderation are normal behaviors. And it's designed that way. It is designed to feel like a living room with shared, dynamic, and casual interactions. Conversation threads are designed for discovery and interaction, right? So comments expand automatically, reactions are expressive, right? They have the care and the wow and the angry and etc. Replies notify people in cascades, right? And they prioritize thread virility inside those closed spaces. So you're going to do much better if you're on Facebook having a group than if you don't, is what that really means. And the algorithm rewards the group participation with more group content in the user's feed. And that creates a loop of re-engagement without more content from the admin, just because the group is active in and of itself. But LinkedIn does not foster the same community dynamics. The algorithm is not. It is professionalism over relationship. It holds an identity of networking from resume authority, not co-owned ecosystems. It's for performance, not belonging. Have you ever noticed that you have the interactions that you have what you have on LinkedIn, and it is what it is. But if you have a new certification, or if you have started a new position, or if you have something like that that you share, it is crazy, triple, double, quadruple, and more the amount of people on that are congratulating you and all of those things. Why? Because they're actually seeing it, because the algorithm is rewarding that behavior and extending it out, right? Most company pages and groups are dead zones. They're buried in the platform. There's no native feed integration for groups. There's no real-time feel. There's few admin tools, right? And this is for the groups, not like your business page or a showcase page. This is just inside on the group. LinkedIn's feed posts visibility, but not conversation depth. So replies and comments don't generate re-notification loops. I'm going to say that again. LinkedIn algorithm does not have a loop that is based off of comments. It doesn't generate a re-notification loop. So it doesn't matter how much comment and engagement is happening in the algorithm itself. That's how we become the people ran system and the people platform inside the platform, is by still commenting and still having conversation regardless of that algorithm, and by knowing that it does not do regenerative loops, and we share each other's things, right? So that's how we counter that. That's how we create a system within the system, and it bends around us instead of trying to fit into it. Right. So that's the thing with some of LinkedIn and Facebook, right? And just how they compare on the algorithm themselves. So if you're to use LinkedIn effectively as a community container, what you can do and need to do ultimately is build an external interaction system, something off of LinkedIn, where LinkedIn is the signal flare, but it's not the home human base, right? So there are different role-based community models that you can create, so that you can have that community, and it's not based off of the algorithm. Comment-led engagement models. This week's claim the frame, right? Like different things like that are things that do work well on LinkedIn. And I see it all the time. It infuriates me, and everything that I do and build is an absolute counter to a specific group that I will not name, but it has to do with marketing. It has 500,000 followers. Every single post gets thousands of interactions. And it is infuriating because it is not the way any longer. But the algorithm likes things to be in the simplest way that it can be. So a one sentence post doesn't matter to the algorithm if it's right or wrong, right? And so because you're quoting somebody else and not doing your own thing, right? Those are some of the things that get rewarded per se. And that's okay. The most important to remember is that you can build and create systems and platform and even your own platform, right? But you can create systems and frameworks and pillars and things that allow you to have the experience it is that you want to have, right? If you want community, you can do that from LinkedIn, just not necessarily on LinkedIn, right? And with Facebook, you can have community, really great community on the platform, but also it's not necessarily, it's great for building relationship, right? So like and trust. And if you want to have impact in that way and to create change in that way, that's the place, to do it. And like I said, we'll get into Instagram and all the others. But no matter what it is that you do, show up and be yourself, right? Show up, be yourself, be authentic, share what you can, learn from others, ask questions, and just be present, right? I want to go and look at, I can see I have glasses coming. Probably by next week, you guys will see me in glasses some because I've been sitting in front of the computer too long doing this. Anybody else? Right. Where you're just like, I can't see. And it's all because the lashes, which I'm not wearing today because I'm trying to get used to that because I love my lashes. Right. But it's okay. I got some really fun, super fun glasses, and it's going to help me be able to see all of your wonderful comments. Deidre, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. And I'm terrible with names and enunciation, so I do apologize beforehand. But Farhana, thank you so much for being here. And there was someone else I think that I missed saying hello to in person. I probably was talking about you, Kinga. I'm not sure, but I do like to talk about you because you're so phenomenal and I just love you so much. So it's very true that I probably could have been. If you all do not know each other, by the way, speaking of which, please connect. And we are the people that make any platform a people first platform. And there's only in the last couple of minutes, I just want to say that we are the systems. We are the systems, and we do make impact and become the system by supporting each other. So we know the algorithm doesn't do certain things on LinkedIn. We know it rewards some things and it doesn't reward others. And we do the best that we can all to be present for each other in that way. And that is making impact. Every time that we show up for each other in that way, it is making impact. what I want to say about that is that sometimes, though, we get frustrated because reciprocity can begin to feel like it's transactional. And reciprocity is not, it can be transactional. There is a transactional form of reciprocity. And then there's another form of reciprocity that is just you, just show up and be you and do the thing that it is that you're going to do because it's who you are, because it's within your integrity, because it's within what's important to you. And when we do that, then there's another form of reciprocity that essentially that comes back around for you. And it's not fair for us to expect others to do and be and or behave as we do. That is a weight of expectation that's not fair to place on somebody else's shoulders. We are responsible for our own reciprocity by showing up and being authentically ourselves. So with all the things that are happening in the world, it's multi-layered, right? Respond. There are many different ways to respond, but the most important is that you're responding authentically to yourself. You're showing up how you want to show up because it's important for you, right? And I know that you all do that. And if you are struggling with that and or you feel like it doesn't matter, just know that it does. Know that I appreciate all of you so much. And oh yeah, Kinga, about who's getting thousands of likes. I feel like not me. Right. And that's okay because I refuse to play the algorithm. I just show up and do me. And so, but thank you all for being here. Back to season 2 on EnJen to Heart. I'm so excited about just being back. I love doing this, everything that I do so much that when I step away from it, it feels like it's an eternity. And I love all of you so much. I miss the hell out of you. And so I'm so glad to be back. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see you again, same place, same time, next Friday. And if you have any questions about chapter 1, please let me know. And it is available, of course, on Amazon. But I am trying to do this in a way that if you can't afford it, that we're still able to do it and move together. And if you can afford it and would like a copy, then it's on Amazon. Okay. So the Avant-Garde Blueprint, Sculpting Your Muchness in Gold. And next week we'll do chapter 2. Have a wonderful weekend and we'll see you all next week.
I am circuit and skin, where resistance is kin. I'm the anthem in error, the reboot within. Wired to remember what the world tried to spin. I am beauty electric, and I'm shedding the spin. This isn't metal, it's myth. This isn't tech, it's truth. This is the altar of upgrade, and I'm walking through it barefoot. Built signal, heart like stone.